What's going on, people? So, as you can see, I am somewhat into a review already. The issue being that somehow the camera just stopped recording, right? So, the box is already open. I've already done my little intro, but I'm going to do it again because why not? One of the things I started off with moments ago was this here shirt that I'm wearing, right? This is a Sneaker Hearts shirt, and the reason I'm wearing this will make sense a little bit later because that package is over there and it will be opened, just not in this particular moment. But the thing is, again, these guys, they're totally worth a little bit of your time to go out there, find them on Instagram or YouTube. Well, not YouTube just yet. Facebook, they're on there too from what I understand. But anyways, they're doing some good things out there in the world and you could be involved, right? All you gotta do is a little bit more than nothing, right? So you can either send them a little bit of money through like PayPal or something. You could send in some old shoes. Or if you're in the area, maybe you could just go on down there and help them package some things up and divvy them throughout the world, right? Whatever works for you, do that. Again, just like nothing is here, be here. Cool. So, over here though, what we have going on is a pair of Jordan 9s. Right now, I'm not a huge Jordan 9 guy, but you put anything in the right color and I might just be up for it. And that's what happened here. This black and this gold, well, university gold as they say, it gets me most of the time, and given that I had just bought a pair of 9s not too long ago, I'm kind of thinking, you know what? They're not bad. They're somewhat fresh in my head. I'm not going to say I'm a 9 fan. Definitely not going to say that. But in the right colorway, they're all right. So there we have that. And I'm pretty sure that this is my first Jordan of the year because if I'm not mistaken, the bulk of my reviews up until now have been New Balance and Adidas, some Asics in there somewhere. Either way, let's go ahead and look these things over. Actually, no, I already did that. So it is now review time on this right here, ladies and gentlemen, the Air Jordan 9 in the black and university gold colorway. Alright, so as I was saying before, maybe I just said that moments ago, maybe in that video that got messed up. These are pretty alright in my opinion, but let's go ahead and break them down and talk about them, shall we? So down here across the bottom, what you're going to be looking at down there, typical outsole that you see on a lot of these Jordan 9s, right? The only thing that really changes is just the coloring. This, you got some black and you got some gold. And I can't remember what those words are at the top, but somebody will likely chime in and correct me on that in the comments, maybe. Moving on over to the midsole here. Very much just your plain style thing going on. You got a lot of black and you got a little bit of gold. Very much like the bottom. So that being that, we can move on. Now up here around the upper, right? We'll go with this outline part first. It's kind of a sort of a darker gray sort of color, you know what I mean? It feels like a very nice suede or something, maybe nubuck. I don't know, I'm not good with the material names. But I will say that it feels pretty good, so that's cool. And then moving on to the back though real quick, they do have that 23 back there, and above that they've got the Jordan logo in yellow with a little black circle thing around it, and that yellow pull tab at the top. But back to the rest of the shoe here, the standard part of the upper, like the middle part of the upper, feels kind of like the outside does, just not as good. And that's got this whole black suede sort of thing going on. You get just a little bit of a color change in there, not a whole lot, so I'm not going to say it's like amazing quality, but it is something that, you might think is okay. I guess that's one way to put it. But anyways, past that, it's just your standard design. You got the stitching in there with like these shapes that I guess are supposed to be like a baseball glove or something. Somebody said that. I guess it's true because it kind of has that look to it, but I don't know. Baseball's stupid. I don't really care. Moving on. So these around here, you got the little lace holder things going on. I kind of like that style. It's that speed lacing system they have going on. So when you're tightening up the shoes, they're going to move pretty smoothly through there. So it helps you with getting your shoes on faster, I guess. So there's that. And then behind that, you've got just your standard laces. Nothing too crazy about that. And you've got a standard feeling tongue down there. And I say standard feeling tongue, meaning it feels like the last pair that I had. Which is not good, right? Because they're very rough to the touch if you rub your fingers on them in the correct direction or whatever. Or the wrong direction, depends how you want to look at it. But yeah, so there's that. I'm not a fan of it, wasn't a fan of it last month or whenever I got those University 9s, University Blue 9s. I'm still not a fan of it. Don't think I'll come around either. At the top of that tongue, you have this here Jordan logo, Air Jordan logo, whatever. It's not really a logo, it's just some text, but you know, it is what it is. And this tongue here, as I said before, feels very thin, but it's very soft, so that's cool. And speaking of soft, let's move ahead on into this here sock liner area. So in there, what you're going to be seeing is just your standard yellow, universal yellow color. It does feel pretty nice. It feels almost like a towel in some kind of ways. It's not amazing, but it's pretty decent. And then behind that, much like the material you have on the back of the tongue for the sock liner here, it's kind of this sort of neoprene, I guess would be the right term for that. And that's pretty all right. And now let's go ahead and get this here shoe tree thing out of here. Some people like to look at the shoe trees, but that's too bad. It's already on the ground. What you're going to be seeing on the inside of there is just the standard insole, which is yellow with that black Jumpman, because hey, you know, I mean, Jordan was black, may as well make the logo black, right? Makes sense in a way. So there is that. Now we've done it. We've gone through pretty much this whole review, if I'm not mistaken. I'll hit you one more time with my personal thoughts, then we'll get on into the sizing and whatnot. So personally, right, still not like a huge fan of the 9, but I think this one came out pretty well. So good for them on that. I will say that the model itself still isn't really one to jump out at me. It's just like I was saying before, you throw the right color on almost anything, and it's gonna work out all right. So case in point, here we are. Same with last month, or whenever that last one was. But now, let's go get into some other thoughts of mine, but these ones will be more so related to like the comfort and the sizing and all that good stuff, right? Because again, it's just one man's opinion. Before I go get into it, I always urge everybody to, after this, go get another one, just to see what other people think. But for now, let's go ahead and I'll hit you with mine. So, videos are in here, let's do this. We'll start with the sizing. Yeah, we'll start with the sizing. I bought these in a 9, right? That's pretty much the standard size that I buy in Jordan shoes. And they fit about like I would expect them to. It's just that they are a little narrow feeling, right? Now, maybe that's just me. Maybe it's not. I don't know. I still went with my normal size and I'm fine with it. I'm not going to go up half a size. Maybe you should consider it if, you know, you're kind of wondering like, oh man, I got some wide feet, blah, blah, blah. Again, that's why I often say to watch other reviews, because sometimes other people might weigh in with some things that make more sense based on how your feet are structured. But I'm just going to say that I went with true to size. They feel a little narrow, but I'm good with that feeling. So take that, do whatever you want to do with it. Now, past that, as far as the comfort goes, walking around in these things a little bit, right? It's a Jordan shoe. You're not going to expect too much. And if you are, you're wrong for that and you know it. What you're going to get out of these is something that's okay, right? I don't know that I'd want to walk around all day in them, but go out and run some errands, come on back, should be okay. They do feel a little, I don't know, they feel a little more comfortable than those 5s I had on yesterday, so they've got that going for them. But again, it kind of comes down to you and what you're used to wearing, I suppose, would be a huge thing to consider when you talk about how comfortable a shoe is or is not. In this case, I personally lean towards the is not, given what I'm used to wearing. But that's kind of just, again, it's a personal thing. This whole thing is all based on personal views. I hope I drove that point home. But for now, we're going to just go ahead and wrap this thing up, because why not, right? I feel like I've rambled long enough. I feel like you've listened long enough, assuming you heard this whole video. If you haven't, you have not heard enough. But anyways, that's it. We're done. So, from me to you, have a nice rest of your day or rest of your night, whatever it is, wherever you are. Don't forget the whole Sneaker Hearts thing. There's links and stuff down below. Use them. They're there, right? I do that as a courteous thing to you. The thing I ask in return is at least like click on them and, you know, go check the people out. Is that too much to ask? It's not. It's not. So, later people.